Welcome to another episode here at United Christian Academy. I'm Juan.
I'm John.
And welcome to Overtime
Unleashed.
And today, our whole goal here with our podcast is to be able to highlight our athletes and coaches and just be able to have conversations and talk about struggles on and off the court, and then just being able to encourage those that are out there that are watching.
You know, we just kicked off our season. Everybody's back at play right now, so we're going to have a little bit of fun talking to, we have 4 of our athletes, so I guess the best way to do it, let's just kick it off. Let's start here. Introduce yourself. Tell us what sport you play.
My name is Gracie and I play volleyball.
My name is Cash and I play football.
My name is Chloe and I also play volleyball.
My name is John and I play football.
All right, so let's start. Okay, so tell us, Gracie, you're on the volleyball court. So what are some of the things or some of the challenges about volleyball for those that don't play volleyball? What is the best thing that you like or some of the challenges that you want?
I would say some of the challenges would be communication. Sometimes it's really loud when you're playing on the court, and it's sometimes hard to hear each other with talking who goes when in those situations.
So how do you overcome that?
I think through practice, and also you just kind of have to speak up. Some people are kind of quiet, and that can cause challenges. So if you speak up and know your position, I think that's how you can overcome it.
Nice.
You know, Cash, you're stepping in this year. This is your first year in a new role, right? So
Yeah.
you're QB1. You're the quarterback of the team. What have you prepared for differently this year than last year?
Well, last year I came in as a linebacker and a tight end. This year I came in as a quarterback, and most of the problems that I've had to deal with is getting hit. It was a big difference from hitting somebody to getting hit, and the physical side of it, and then the mental side is a very big challenge. Studying the playbook was a lot more for me because I need to be able to read not only the offense but the defense too, even if it's not our own. And then you have to watch a lot of film, and it takes a lot of hard work and dedication.
Yeah. You know, you guys were in a unique spot, so I know a little bit of the journey. Over the summer, you know, you guys were rebuilding, right? You rebuilt the team. We had a new coach come in. You have a lot of kids that, left. You and another player were really instrumental in calling your friends, calling your teammates, and recruiting and getting that. What was that process like, and what motivated you to do that?
The motivation for me was it's my sophomore year, and I have seniors like Junior, who it's their last year, and we got to give them all that we have for them because we want to have the best season for them to go out with. The motivation side, I'm hoping that we can get as many people to come out as possible, and still we're just doing great, and everyone's doing something else that's not what they did last year, and then we got new people, so.
Awesome.
All right, so Chloe, so going on the road to go play games, right? You guys had a lot of tournaments, so we've only had, 2 home games and then 1 scrimmage game, and we had probably about 7 or 8 on the road. So how do you motivate yourself since you don't have the home team around you, right? You don't have you don't have that crowd at home, right? So how do you motivate yourself when you're on the court at a visiting school when you know that it's their home field, so they're going to bring everything?
Yeah, I would say a lot of it is our team camaraderie too. We put a big emphasis on cheering on the sidelines, cheering together. After every play, you come together and you cheer. And so I feel even in the environment, sometimes we play teams and their fans are so loud, and it's really about and then we even get our parents that come. Our parents will get into it and cheer back. So it's really about focusing on ourselves inwardly as a team, and you kind of find that camaraderie that you're missing on the outside.
Okay, so that's you. So how do you get that as a team? Because when you get there, some will be ready for it, and others are okay, this is loud. So not everybody has that same take. So how, as a team, how do you come together so everybody has that same energy?
I would say mainly we talk about it a lot before. We'll say oh, we remember this school from this year where they do this, whatever. So I feel it's definitely an adjustment. Some people who it's new to, you can see it on their faces. It's kind of a shock at first. But I would say by the end of the game, you kind of have to within ourselves, even me and Gracie, we have to be the ones encouraging them, and reinforcing that, so that when they're surprised at first by how loud the other team can be, they have that reinforcement from us too.
Got it.
You know, Chloe, you've had success obviously outside the school as well. You don't know, Chloe is a gold medalist. We tell her everywhere she goes, gold medalist in hockey, right? What do you bring from that experience to your UCA teammates?
Probably mostly like confidence, I guess. I would say like after that experience, I gained a lot more confidence in myself. And so I think it was more about like bringing that here. I learned how to like really like show people that it's not all like, not everything is like set in stone in one moment, you know? So it's more about like moving on to the next thing. There's always more possibilities of where you can go. So I feel like that's the biggest thing, is bringing more confidence in myself and giving more confidence to other people.
And I want to follow up with that. That was a championship run, but how many years prior to that was it building before you got to that championship run?
Well, that was actually my first year on the U.S.
Oh, wow.
national team.
Yeah.
So for me, it was the first time, but a lot of the women who are playing on the team, it's been like, I mean, they've been doing that since before I was born. So it's very like, I felt that coming into it. I was new, but I also was carrying that like for them as like a long time coming. And I've been playing the sport for like my entire life. So it was kind of still a huge accomplishment for me in that sense.
So Junior, you've been preparing, right? You guys came out for spring ball. In the spring, you guys were working out, hitting the weight room, doing some 7-on-7. So you're hyped because it's your senior year, right? And then you go into the summer, then it's, you know, we're in that 115 heat, you know, you're going through your pads, your helmets, you're going through all that leading to the first game. You were hyped,
I was.
right? So talk to us, because that first game was a rather challenging one.
Obviously, the first play of the game, I block for Cash. He runs 30 yards. I'm excited for him, and then it's my turn the next play. I get the handoff, and I take it. Obviously, I get hurt when I tried to juke, and I was out for the entire game. And I think all the excitement kind of died down for a second. It was just kind of like surreal, like, wow, this happened at the worst possible time, you know? But I quickly realized throughout the game, I was like, once I started getting upset at myself, then I had other players who were right behind me, like Cash, who was all starting to get in a different mindset. And so I realized I have to kind of put my pride aside and go talk to him and go help other players out and coach them up, because without that, the team isn't a team, you know? It takes the leadership and the communication.
So what was the process of going through that? Because I mean, anybody who's played a sport and suffered any type of an injury, it's like, you're thinking right away, I'm out, how long am I out? I want to hurry up and get back on the field because I want to contribute. What was the thought process that only you know was going through your head in order to come back? Because you just didn't fall and say, okay, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna motivate the whole team, right? What was that process in between while the game was still going and you were on the side? What was the process?
Well, immediately when I tried to juke the guy and my knee buckled, I was just kind of like an oh crap moment. But I thought I'd be okay. But then I kept running and I had the ball in my hands and I was like, oh no, I'm hurting. And so I was trying to get out. I didn't realize how close the end zone was, and I was just.
It was close. You were right there. I was like, oh, he scored. He's doing snow angels on the ground. I was like, yes.
And then immediately I go out and I have to fall down because like the pain was so bad, you know. And then the trainers come over and they're asking me like what's wrong, what feels however, and I kind of just don't know. It's just I was also in shock mentally compared to the physical pain. But then I was just like, I immediately was like, I want to get back in. So I got up, I tried to do stretches and lunges, and anyone who was there would see me. I was like trying to jump around and run around a little bit, and then I ended up going back in for another play and immediately got hurt again, trying to hit a guy. And so that was the point, and they told me that I was going to be out. And so immediately I started freaking out. I was like, what if I can't play my senior year? It's already a game that I haven't had, you know. And obviously last Friday I didn't get to play much either because it's still lasting. But I think there's an urgency for me to get back in, but it's also kind of just the realization where it's like, even though I can't, I need to make sure that they're having the best experience, and I'm coaching them up. I'm coaching the players who are behind me who are filling my spot, making sure that everyone's in the right headspace, you know.
You know, and this guys goes to any of you guys. You know, last year versus this year, it's a different era. You know, we have new facilities, we got a new field, new volleyball court. I saw some things changed in the way both those games have played. How much did that affect you guys, seeing your school's investment into the facilities and to improving these areas that had, you know, kind of gotten a little shabby over the years? What did that say to you guys as players?
I would say, like, especially like specifically in the gym, I think it makes us all like more excited to like have home games. I think like it's more of just the atmosphere. Like we feel excited to like try harder, and we feel excited more like it's more of like a camaraderie thing.
Yeah.
So I think it just builds excitement for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm only a sophomore, but I've only played high school sports for a year, obviously. They've had a lot of time where they've been on someone else's home field, and you can just tell it's not yours, and you go into the game thinking, man, we're on someone else's field. But this year, this first game, I get really nervous before the games, but I was hyped up, excited that I get to play on a home field, my first game as a quarterback, and I get to go perform and show everyone what we've been doing and waiting for.
Yeah, and I think adding on to that, even our new chant for football, if you can hear from the sideline, we were talking about how this is our field, it's our house, it's our game, and so it feels like we really mean it now because we're not on someone else's field. You know, we couldn't really have a chant like that before because it just felt awkward. But now we chant at home and we chant when we're away because it's like we have a sense of belonging and like a home that we have.
That's cool. You know, I noticed in that first game, halftime, it was a dogfight in that first game. And I've been with you guys for years. It was a little different the way you guys came out. It was a different feel. What was the difference for you guys as the players? What felt different? Because you guys really just put your foot on the gas in that second half. And
For me, we were down. I think it was 14-6, and I just didn't want to lose my first game as a quarterback, and I wanted to put the team on my back and get the win.
yeah,
Okay, so for Gracie, so being at home, right? It was up, right? The intensity was up there, and we had 2 home games, right? And we went to the wire with the first one we dominated 3-0, right? But then that last game. So let's talk about the last game. It could be either one of you, but I'm gonna start with you, Gracie. So it was back and forth, right? You guys had the lead by about 12. And then they came back and the other team won, and then the other ones you guys maintained, and it went down to the wire. What was it that just like kept you guys pushing? Because obviously you were at home, right? So, but what was it that kept you guys pushing to keep fighting? Because you could have easily just said, okay, we're down. But me watching the game and watching all the matches, there was a switch in tide. Like you guys were like, no, this wasn't going to happen. So, you know, talk after she gets done. You can pick up.
I think in the past, like during our tournament, we would like be winning, and then towards the end we would lose it. And like throughout the season, we've been working on like not like falling short at the end because we've been doing that in the past. So like that game, we wanted to like overcome that and win because we've gone to like 3 sets and we lose that last set. And so we wanted to kind of like overcome that and finally win. And we felt like it being home, especially, it like kind of encouraged us to actually like get past that like hump.
Yeah, I would say like that's what I was going to touch on too. Is like we've been really like, emphasizing we play these games and then we're like leading and then we get to this wall and like we can't like push past this wall. And so I think a lot of us were almost feeling like tired of doing that. So this was really like the time we were like, okay, this is not happening this time. And I think with playing in some of the tournaments we played in too, like the skill level of the tournaments is a lot higher than some of like the scrimmages we've played. So it's a big like difference. I think we finally had a game where like it was our competition level. We were in it. We were competitive, and so we really wanted to like prove that we could do that.
Right on. And that's what a tournament's supposed to do, right? Tournament, non-league games, they're supposed to be harder than what your league is. So when you get the league, like you just said, it's just you're playing right at the competition level. But that's something that happens around here a lot, right? Through sports, right here at UCA. It's we show greatness and then we pull back. Why do you think that is? Anyone can answer that.
I think it's a comfortability thing. When we do good, it's kind of I don't want to say like unknown to us, but it gets a little unfamiliar at times because we have a reputation where it's like we will lose and everyone's okay with it. But then when we do good, everyone kind of gets comfortable and they plateau a little bit, and it's like they take their foot off the gas when the game's not over, when the season's not over, when it gets like hard. And so when other teams decide to punch back, it's like, oh shoot. And so I think that's something that we've been a lot better at this year. For football, obviously, when we're coming back, and with volleyball, like they just said, I think it's really cool to see how everyone's kind of switching that narrative and they're pushing through.
You know, it's interesting. I know for the boys, you guys started playing football as freshmen or first school. Girls, when did you guys start playing your sport?
I started playing volleyball like in junior high here at UCA,
Okay.
and then like more seriously in high school.
Yeah, same thing. I started junior high, and then I also do club outside, so I've been doing that like since I was younger too.
Okay, good. And the reason I say that is because, you know, a lot of sports, we're in here teaching you guys the sport from ground zero, which is a unique scenario versus some other high schools. And so with that in mind, what would you tell like your future, your underclassmen that are coming up, your freshmen or your even junior high students, what would you tell them about stepping into something they've never done before?
I say it's not too late. Like, so a lot of people I think there's no point because there's people that are ahead of them, but I say that is never too late to start.
Yeah.
So yeah, just get involved.
For me, when I came up from 8th grade to this freshman year, I didn't really want to play football. I was a baseball player, and it was a big it was kind of hard pill to swallow. I didn't know whether I wanted to do it or not, but my dad talked me into it, and he kind of gave that what she said. It's never too late to try something.
Yeah.
So I mean, I tried it. It's going pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always an opportunity for something else, and you never know it.
I can definitely say, Cash, you're a football player. You're a football player. We're a baseball player. Junior, for you, what was that experience like? What would you say?
Well, like I never liked football when I was younger, but then obviously freshman year or even like 8th grade year, I kind of gave it a try, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I feel like in like public school, obviously they've been playing since PE football, whatever. But our school, everyone was kind of at a similar level, and so it was kind of eye opening. It was like you're not alone in it, and everyone's growing. Even the juniors and the sophomores, even they're still learning, and so. I think we've also placed emphasis on it this year where the seniors and the juniors were passing down the information to the younger players, and so it gets everyone to grow quicker. And I think that's really cool instead of just shutting it out and being like, oh no, you can't because you have no experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so question to my seniors. What would you tell your younger self at this stage where you're at right now? So you're a 12th grader. What would you tell your younger self, right? Because a lot of times some of us live with regrets, and sometimes we don't even share them, right? You sit there and say, oh man, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have tried. Because there's somebody watching the podcast, right, that's maybe in that mode of, oh man, I want to, but I don't want to. You know, so what would you tell your younger self? You're 6th, 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade, even 10th grade like Cash. Like, what would you tell your younger self?
I would probably say, like for me specifically, and I feel like a lot of football players I know can relate, is playing loose. You know what I mean? Not being so serious. Like, yes, take it obviously with a level of like seriousness in the sense that you're gonna try as hard as you can, give as much effort. But I think being loose in the sense of it's okay to have fun, and you don't always have to be so straight-faced about it. You know what I mean? Obviously, football is an intense sport where there's a lot of conflict between the other teams and whatnot. But I think the biggest thing is you play really good when you're enjoying it, when you're having fun. And so when you lose that, you kind of fade from the sport. Like you don't like to play it anymore, and then you also start playing worse. And so I think just truly like looking positively at everything and looking at with like a better outlook on it. It helps. You play so much better. You feel better. You look better out there. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably like be okay with like sticking through the change. Like I would say for me, like every year has been different, and so but I'm content with where I'm at now. I'm content with what I've accomplished. So I feel like the biggest thing is like sticking through the changes. Like yeah, they're not going to be easy like while they're happening, but then also like being able to grow with them and like what you learn from them and how you mature yourself, I think is worth it.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, guys, You know, you guys have been doing a great job. We're just starting the season, but you guys have been doing an excellent job. I can definitely feel the excitement on every sport that we're coming to, every time we're coming out. If you have not been to a game yet, whether volleyball or football or cross country, I don't know if we go to cross country, but you can go to anything. There's a
Those
level
are
of
kinda
intensity.
tough to go to.
It's kind of tough to go to, but it's a definite intensity. And really, this is all about you guys. You know, from being a coach, from an athletic director standpoint, we want to build the best programs for you guys to shine and to really let that happen. And what you guys are doing on the field, the way you are leading positively on the field and off the field, speaks volumes for our program, and it's going to build a legacy for those to come. Juan, you got any other closing thoughts?
Yeah, before we get to the closing thoughts, I want to, we all want to win, right? So before we get to the closing, I know I'm going back a little bit, but it just crossed my mind. It was, so in a game that we always put God first, right? And we want to win at the same time, right? So how does that look? Like, how do you balance that as an athlete, right? We see some of them on TV, when they're on Sports Center, we see that. But how do you balance that where you continue to keep God first and not let a little victory overshadow?
For me, I think what the verse is 1 Corinthians 4:7, where it says, what do you have that you have not received? And if you have received it, why do you boast as if you haven't? And so I think it's really good as a player to remember that, like, your athletic ability or even your health availability is all given from God. The fact that you can be out there, the fact that you can play, the fact that you have another team to play against. I think it's all from God, and so I think it's about being thankful and being grateful for it. I think it's really easy to complain and just be like, oh, this kind of sucks, you know what I mean? Even, especially when you're losing. But I think it's a level of gratuity that you have to have in order to keep Him first.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. This will be airing soon. Just give us a shout out. Give a shout out to anybody out. Your parents, whoever you want to. We'll go from right to left.
I would like to give a shout out to my parents for always being there and encouraging me to keep on doing my best and just to keep on working hard.
I'd like to give a shout out to my parents for putting me in the sport, and my linemen, Wyatt, John Jay, and Zach for keeping me safe in our games.
I'll give a shout out to all my girls in the volleyball team, all the seniors. I want to say I wouldn't have gotten through volleyball without them, so that's probably who I'd shout out, and just everybody who's stayed here and made this a good community.
I'll give a shout out to Joshua Paul and to Coach Cal, because both of them are big reasons why I came back out and played, because I wasn't planning on playing, and I'm really glad that I came back out.
All right. And I'll give a shout out to all the UCA athletes and the student body. You guys are why we're here. You guys are the motivation behind everything that we do. Why we work so hard, why we put the facilities together, is for you guys to have the best experience ever. And we enjoy going out there on Friday night, Thursday night, whatever night it is, and celebrating you. The good, the bad, the ugly, the fun, the memories. We like doing all of it, because this is what you're going to talk about years from now. You won't really remember the scores of the game, but you will remember the times. You'll remember the individual plays. You'll remember the jokes. You'll remember the rides home. You'll remember all those moments where you have a lot of fun, and no one will ever be able to take that away. So until next time, this is Overtime Unleashed.